가서 여기 있는 이런 이름까지 그리고 이름도 여러
Also, I like more team with Sean. Yeah. Sean was a help. And a real good guy. I was on looking to go to that because I just saw that they said that I should should read give him a call.
Very nice.
How far down can you see, do you know? Like here?
It's on the left, and it will be turned into the back of the net, and it's clipped downfield again. Oh yes, Josie Altidore ends the scoring drought, and the most unlikely man to be the hero is Eddie Johnson. Does it on his own turn. He does it again. Chris Wondolowski on fire. Derulo has it down, and the Americans have five. Jurgen Klinsmann wins his first trophy, claiming the 2013 Gold Cup. United States are through to the World Cup. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
Hello, soccer fans, and welcome to U.S. Soccer's Match Access. I'm Jeff McAdam, and we are in a sunny and bright, very bright, that's a good thing, Carson, California. The U.S. men's team about to take the pitch here behind me, getting ready, of course, for tomorrow's game against the Korea Republic. What to look for? Well, plenty of things. First off, this team coming off its most successful year in men's national team history. Of course, tomorrow, big game for them, taking on the Korea Republic. 22 guys on this roster, all trying to make a World Cup final roster spot, which will be announced in May. So not only a big game for the team, but a big game for a lot of the players individually. We'll catch up with them in just a few minutes as they make their way from the locker room out here onto the field. In the meantime, head coach Jurgen Klinsmann's already here. He's in the press conference room getting ready to meet with the media. Let's head on over and listen in.
Thank you very much. This morning we have the head coach of the U.S. men's national team, Jurgen Klinsmann. Jurgen, your thoughts on the camp so far and the opening match of 2014 against Korea?
First of all, we'd like to welcome our guest from South Korea for this exciting exhibition game tomorrow here at the StubHub Center. Obviously for us, it is a nice test for the players that now put in about 3.5 weeks of work, their preseason work. We gave them a kind of a jump start into their 2014 season, obviously with the background of the World Cup coming up in June. And they've done a wonderful job. All 26 players that came in on day one, we let go then 4 players, even if they did really well, just to get the roster a little bit smaller for the game. Otherwise we would have too many players here. So attitude, commitment, effort, it's been outstanding, and they deserve a huge compliment. Now obviously, you want the players kind of to use that opportunity tomorrow here and show a good game and show where they are right now after this kind of intense 3.5 weeks of training. And obviously we know that South Korea already played 2 games, so they have already 2 games in their legs. But we're really looking forward to it.
Thanks, Jurgen. If you do have a question, if you would please raise your hand. Kevin.
Jurgen, at this time last year, I think you were getting your first real long look at Omar and Matt in the central defense. Now it looks like they really solidified their roles, big start in the World Cup. Can you talk a little bit about their development and just how they work together?
Obviously from a coach's perspective, you try to kind of see a development of your players. You see them kind of grow through a season and maybe a couple of years. And I think with Matt and with Omar, you see two center backs that have matured. They become calmer, they become more responsible, they grow into their feet, into their roles. And it's nice to see. This is what we are hoping with this January camp, that you have players coming in the beginning, they're a bit nervous, and then they start to mature and they start to pick it up and they understand what is kind of demanded on the international level, and we coaches are here to help them to get to that level. And I think both have done really well. Played very strong seasons with their respective club teams, and they have done well with us when they came into the national team environment. So we are pleased with that.
We'll do Scott and then Andrew.
You'll get your impressions of Mike McGee in this camp. How has he transitioned in, and what can he offer this team?
Well, Mike was an easy kind of transition because he's around the block for quite a while. So he was not really nervous about it. He was happy. He was thrilled that he is part of the group, and he kind of fit right in, in the training scrimmages that we had, and in the group anyway. He's a guy that adjusts easily to his teammates and is part of the group right away. So no, we're happy that we finally had a closer look at him, and hopefully he gets a chance tomorrow to show this also on a bigger stage.
Andrew.
Following up on that question about Omar and Matt, these are two guys who played pretty much exclusively in the U.S. They played college soccer. They've played primarily in MLS. As they, if it's them or Clarence, or as they transition to that next level and they do play in the World Cup and the whole back line, what's the biggest transition? What's the biggest challenge playing at that level?
Well, I would say that for players like Omar, Max, or other ones coming through the ranks here, the biggest challenge is getting used to the speed of play on the international level, but also the mental speed, to read things ahead of time, to position yourself already into areas where the ball probably going to come, to read your opponents ahead of time. So it's their biggest challenge is just to anticipate things, and be alert and never kind of allow really mistakes, because mistakes, one or two on an international level, will get punished and you're going to go home. And this is something that we try to tell them in every position, but especially in the backline position, that we can't allow on an international stage making mistakes there. You have to be on top of your game, 90 minutes, highly focused. You can make passing mistakes, in the defensive area, because the transition is going to happen so quickly from those teams that we're going to face, this summer, that you're pretty much done. If you're number 6 or if center backs make a passing mistake in the defensive third, this is an open invitation, and that's what we tell them. That's where we kind of push them towards, to be far more alert, far more forward thinking and anticipate things. Confidence is a big issue. To have the confidence to play out of the back, because we don't want to kick the ball long, because 9 out of 10 balls will be gone. And this is something that challenges them. In training sessions, when we kind of tell them, but also especially now in real games, and we want to see that improving. We don't want to see any more balls just played long because I don't know what to do anymore, because I'm kind of getting closed down. We want them to stay calm and find a solution. And if you maybe have to dribble that forward, then you pass him and dribble them. So it's been a process, but we still have a way to go.
We'll do Jeff and then Joseph.
Jurgen, what are your thoughts on Michael Parkhurst? Obviously he came into camp a bit late, and also your thoughts on his return to MLS, and might we see him at left back tomorrow?
Yeah, you might see him in the left back role. Michael, we timed it away with his move back from Augsburg to MLS, to Columbus, that he will join us right here. He was fit already when the transfer was done. He was working on his own, and we know him since, obviously for years, that he's a very, very serious professional player. So I think for MLS, it's exciting to have him back here, because he has a tremendous experience and an amazing attitude. Within a group, he's a role model. We also timed it that way because we had, going into the camp, 3 left backs and 3 right backs, because we wanted to see some youngsters there. And I told Michael, listen, I leave you out of the Brazil trip. He wanted badly to come with us to Brazil because I want to see the other guys. We haven't seen them yet, which we did then. And then once we came back to LA, he joined us then. He's up to speed with the group. I mean, his move back is in order to is a personal move also to kind of get him playing time now, going back in a playing rhythm with his club then, in this case with the Columbus Crew, and make his case, because he was unfortunately not breaking through there in Augsburg. Things didn't work out the way we hoped it will work out, and that's why he pulled the plug and he went to the club there, and they understood his situation. He said he wants to get badly on this World Cup roster.
Joseph.
Regarding Parkhurst, Jurgen, what makes him unique among the other candidates at left back, or since he's played as center back before, at center back?
Well, it's always difficult, to compare players, even if they play the same position, because every player is different. Every player has his own unique strength and his own kind of weaknesses. So it's not fair now. You say that he's better here or he's better there. But what certainly Mike has is he has a very good technique. He's very calm on the ball, and his vision on the field is really good. He can see between people. So he's not getting nervous when he's getting attacked maybe by a winger, or he gets pressured, high pressured by certain teams, like also South Korea is doing. They're playing often a high pressure system, so you got to stay calm, and work your way through that. But it's also based on his experience, over many years playing in Europe. So he played Champions League before, he didn't make it that way. He wanted to in the Bundesliga now, but that's certainly something that is on his plus side, and that's why we're glad to have him in this group.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We'll go Doug and then
Jurgen, it's your second extended look at Landon after the Gold Cup last year. Where's he right now? How's he looked in this camp? And a question about a guy that isn't here, Jermaine Jones made a move yesterday. Just thoughts on that move to Turkey?
No, Landon had a good camp, and obviously has a tremendous amount of experience. He knows how to time these camps, how to look at them. Obviously, within the group, he's always highly respected and accepted. So that was a good 3.5 weeks for him. So we hope that on his home field, tomorrow he shows some excitement and basically shows off in a good way. Jermaine, I've been in contact with him since obviously the transfer window opened up, because I knew what was going on there at Schalke, and I told him, you got to solve that issue, no matter how, but you got to get back playing, because otherwise you run out of time. And he took his time a little bit until almost last day. But he solved it with the move to Besiktas. It's a good club. It's an international team there. A lot of national team players around him, and he gets his playing time right away. I mean, he's the guy. He's always ready. Remember 2 years ago when he jumped into the January camp because of a red card. He was suddenly available for us, and within 1 day here, he took basically over. And showed everyone that he wants to be the boss on the field. So we are pleased with his move, because that was really, really crucial. Because he and Michael Bradley obviously that's the heart of our midfield. So it's good to know that both are in good spots.
Every national coach envies you right now for having the players 3.5 weeks and being able to go to Brazil for 2 weeks. Looking back at those 3.5 weeks, what do you think? What kind of advantage does it give you over your competitors?
I don't know if it's an advantage, but certainly it's a good feeling that we kind of have a visual, that we have a good understanding about our training site, our base camp, hotel, and that the players, that will then join us as well in the summertime, kind of have already a good idea how it looks like. So I think it just makes you feel more comfortable. Ideally, you want to play the Confederations Cup a year prior to the World Cup. Unfortunately, we missed out on that one because you want to play in those stadiums. You want to get a real feel for it. For us coaches, it was very helpful because I traveled real quick to Natal Recife, same on the way back through Manaus. Seeing the training sites, seeing the hotels there, seeing the stadiums, gives you a real good idea. You drive those distances, then the infrastructure, you meet the people in the individual places, and that is helpful. I think for us it can be only a plus that we've done that for 2 weeks, and hopefully it pays off in the summertime.
good there, and then Billy.
Phil West, SB Nation. Thinking about this match and then the upcoming friendlies against Ukraine and possibly Mexico, what aspects of the team's identity do you think will shine through? What do you most want to work on?
Well, we simply continue the work, we started 2.5 years ago, that no matter who comes into these games, into camp, understands, how we want to play, what is, the demand coming into this group, and to build their case. It's for all national teams, it's very difficult. With one official FIFA date prior to going into camp for the World Cup, it is very difficult to get your hands around all the players that you want to see. So we all coaches from all teams, we end up then following extremely their club games, no matter where they play. So it's for Hang Mong-bo, it's the same problem. He has to go and watch his players in the Korean League, overseas in Europe, wherever they are. Some are in Japan. For us, it's the players in Mexico and MLS in Europe. That's where the main work for us really is, because one game in March and hopefully another one in April is not enough to get a clear picture of where the player's at. So we will see, them throughout the next couple of months, especially in their club teams.
South Korea, what will they, the way they play and the makeup of their team, what can they tell you about your team regarding group play and teams that you're on?
Well, the reason why we asked South Korea to play this game, and we are extremely happy that they accepted that invitation, is it is a team that will high pressure you, that will interrupt your rhythm, a team that has a tremendous amount of energy and individual talent, and is in a similar position as we are. The players that are mainly here, they come out of the Korean League, they also play the same kind of a schedule like we do here, and all of those players want to build a case too. They know that the so-called top players are in Europe, are not available, and this gives it gives him the chance to see them, the players watched the first half altogether of the Mexico game. I think they should have been up already 2 goals, Korea, in this game before Mexico scored the first one. I think their game against Costa Rica, if you watch it carefully, was dominant. 1-0 was not the right result. It should have been 2 or 3-0 for South Korea in that game. And who knows? We might end up playing them this June. After passing the group stage, and Korea passing as well. So it will give us a lot of information, valuable information, and we'll get a real test here tomorrow. So. Oh, I feel happy, to see him. He's been here with the LA Galaxy for several years, so people know him here. He's a wonderful personality. I mean, he was not only an outstanding player for so many years. He's just a charisma and a personality that every federation would love to have on board. So good memories with him. Good memories for me against him as a player. And no, we're happy to have him here. But I think he's very familiar with Los Angeles anyway.
How would you compare that at this point, and also the attention you're getting here during the practice from media?
Well, I think it's very different to coaching Germany, obviously. For me personally, it's very exciting times, because we try to build something here for the future, because we want to one day break into the top 10 in the world. So we are not there yet where Germany is. Germany is one of the top favorites to win the World Cup this summer. We are not one of those top favorites, even if we are very ambitious and we want to get in the knockout round and then really kind of anger some people there. No, it is very different, and it would be too long now to explain all the differences, but I really enjoy this work.
Well, the team is arriving now, so we're going to excuse Jurgen. As always, there'll be an audio podcast available on ussoccer.com, as well as a transcript, and the mix zone will be open in just a few minutes. Thanks, Jurgen.
Thank you, everybody. See you in a bit.
All right, you just heard from head coach Jurgen Klinsmann. The team is now actually just arriving here at StubHub Center in Carson, California, in case you're just joining us. Now, don't go anywhere. In just a few minutes, as the team goes into the locker room, they're going to make their way out here and head to training. We'll pull them aside, a few players specifically, and introduce you to them and ask them a few questions as they get ready to hit the field for one last preparation in tomorrow's big game against the Korea Republic.
Yeah, 100 footer, that's what they said. Let's say if they did it like right here. I actually think that's where it's going to be though. Yeah, so I think we will be good with 100.
All right, welcome back in, soccer fans. U.S. Soccer's Match Access is what you're watching right now, live streaming. Now Brad Davis joins us, getting ready for the big game tomorrow. Brad, welcome to our Match Access live streaming. You talk about this game. It's a culmination of the last few weeks, going down Brazil, the team as a whole. Where is this team at right now, and how unique is it, that bond, when you go to a place like Brazil for three weeks together?
I think the team's in a good spot, to be totally honest. Like you said, we just spent about 3 weeks together, 2 weeks down in Brazil, getting to see the facilities down there in the Sao Paulo, where we're going to be at our home base. So I think things went really well. We created that bond, guys getting together. It's always tough coming in when guys haven't been playing a whole lot and getting a new group of faces together, trying to mesh. But I think over the past few weeks, we've really done a good job, and we're sitting in a good spot and looking forward to the game tomorrow.
Now you made your first had your first call up to this team in 2005. It's been a little bit. You're one of the more veteran guys on this team.
Thanks for putting it like that.
Hey, you got the wisdom, man. How is this year different for you guys? Obviously, Jurgen's a different kind of coach. He's got a different kind of tactics, this kind of deal. But it seems like this year is not like a World Cup team that would have been preparing back in 2000 and 2010. How is this team different heading into a World Cup summer?
I think it's still wide open, the race to go. I don't think there's too many certainties on who's going to be in the lineup. Jurgen's come in and really changed things up. He's really given a ton of people an opportunity to come into this team and prove themselves and make an impact, and hasn't been afraid to change faces, and we've still been successful with that. So, starting last year was a wonderful year for U.S. soccer, and it's kind of just continued to gain momentum, and everybody's really excited to be a part of it right now. Obviously, World Cup coming in 5 months. How can you not be excited for that? So, but it is it's been a fresh start, obviously, for me personally, and some other guys. So it's been a lot of fun.
In a game like Korea, obviously it's a friendly. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, specifically, but it means a lot to a lot of individual players. How big of a game is it for you personally, and what do you try to do out there other than win the game?
It's very big. This game is important for every single guy on this team right now. The result may not matter in standings or anything like that, but obviously the implications on being the World Cup being 5 months away, you want to try and show that you're sharp, that you belong. You want to be able to make an impact, and especially even when you leave here to go back with our clubs and stay playing at a high level and stay consistent. So without a doubt, this is a very big game for us. We know that. We still want to go out and have a lot of fun, but in the back of our minds, we definitely know the implications it can have for us.
Well, stay healthy. Good luck. Stay sharp. I noticed you got a shiner. You said your kid took you down the other day, huh?
Yeah, it's been a few weeks since I've seen him come back in the hotel, and 2 minutes into it, we're wrestling. He headbutts me, so it was all right. It was in good fun.
If you don't get hurt out in the field, you get hurt in the family. It's going to happen somewhere. Well, stay healthy, stay fresh. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks for checking in. You bet.
Thank you.
All right, and we got another player coming up shortly. As Brad heads out to the soccer field, you can check in with him on the tunnel cam. And then shortly, just a minute or so, we'll bring in DeAndre Yedlin. Maybe we'll bring him in now. DeAndre, welcome, man. Welcome to the warmth that is in these spotlights above us. We're talking about January camp winding down. A couple guys on the team hopefully getting their first cap. What does that mean to you, guy getting called up for the first time?
Yeah, it's big. It's a big honor. And I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I'll get some playing time. But if not, I'm just taking in everything, and just thankful for the opportunity to be here.
What's it been like? I mean, this is something you dream about as a kid, right? And then you get the call up. You're with all the faces you've seen. You've seen these guys, I'm sure, either in person or on television. But to be a part of the team, you're in the locker room. For people out there who'll never know, why? How is that so special?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's kind of a unexplainable feeling to finally, I haven't, really got to exactly where I want to be. Because where I want to be is in a World Cup. But I'm definitely taking steps closer. It's an amazing feeling, and just to be able to play with these players who are great players and players that I've looked up to as a kid. It's a pretty special feeling.
DeAndre, coach looks down that sideline and points at you. What do you think you'll be feeling knowing you'll take it off that warm up for the first time?
Yeah, I'm sure a bunch of different emotions. Probably, I'll be nervous first, but then, excited. It's kind of like same with my first game with Seattle. Walking out into a crowd of 40,000. I was a little bit nervous, but then, once you settle into the game, it gets exciting and you just get comfortable.
Perfect. Good luck tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see you get out there on the pitch.
Thank you.
If not tomorrow, then sometime very soon anyway.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck, DeAndre. Thank you very much. All right, we got another player coming up for you shortly, Matt Besler, and possibly some more guests. Plenty of time. The team is heading out to the pitch shortly where they begin their final preparations for tomorrow's big game.
What's your email?
You already sent this, right?
How you been, man? I'm doing great. Here, here we are. Oh, dude. Appreciate we out there? We out there? Yeah. Out to the left. You gotta do it all. Yeah. Awesome.
You guys get him? Yeah, he's all set. He's a famous.
Yeah. No, I've seen him. To match access, we got the Bees. Matt Besler. They call you the Bees, or did I just make that up?
A lot of people do, yeah. Maybe not the Bees, but they call me Bees.
Well, I keep hearing congratulations around the stadium. Had to take to Twitter last night and figure out why everybody's saying congratulations. You got married, right?
I got married. I got hitched.
That's awesome.
Right after the MLS season. Thank you.
Obviously, a different kind of life, you know, and flipping back to soccer, too. Here we are wrapping up January camp, and it was only a year ago that you were the new guy in this January camp. Does it feel like it was just yesterday, like you're still a young guy, or do you feel like a vet? It's been a full year now.
Well, it's a weird feeling because I do feel like an experienced guy now, but it's only been a year. So everything's happened pretty fast for me. But now that I come in, you know, having played 12 or 13 games in 2013, I feel like I'm one of the more experienced guys in this camp, and I need to act like it and play like it. So I've challenged myself to do that this camp.
You know, we keep hearing that it's a different mentality this year. There's no roster spot that's safe up and down. You know, does it feel, is there a different vibe now that we're coming up on a World Cup, you know, 5-6 months away? Does it feel different? Is there more of a pressure, more of a, hey, you got to go out there every practice, every game, because you never know whether you'll be here tomorrow? Does it that sense throughout the team?
Yeah, that's true. This camp has been intense every single day. There hasn't been a day that's been taken lightly, and so for us as players, it's been a grind, but it's been good. It's been tough. The approach that we've taken and the staff has taken is that it's a business approach. You know, we're preparing ourselves to get ready for Brazil, and you know, I think everyone's really excited to finally play somebody else tomorrow instead of ourselves.
Okay, so one last question. I read your blog, Open Eyes, Full Hearts. What does that mean? You're a big Friday Night Lights fan. That's your favorite quote, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite show. Maybe Home Improvement back in the day, but now Friday Night Lights is my favorite. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
Clear
my
eyes.
motto. Yeah.
I like it. And what does it mean?
Just if you're focused, if you give everything you have, you should be confident that you can't lose, and that's the way I approach the game.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I know. Good luck tomorrow. Thanks for checking in with
right.
us. We'll see you out there shortly as Matt heads on out to the soccer pitch. Thanks,
All right.
Matt.
Thanks, guys.
He's ready. The rest of the guys are ready. I think almost everybody's out of the locker room. Brad's probably the last one out there, or Matt rather, as he makes his way to the pitch. We'll have more coming up in just a few minutes. In the meantime, we are about ready to kick it on over to the training where the guys are hopefully all now out on the field. We'll be back in about 20 minutes to wrap this thing up. In the meantime, we're here in Carson, California at the StubHub Center. I'm Jeff McAdam. Stay tuned and watch the practice.
Try to build it right about here. Somewhere right around here
Do ya? All right, welcome back, U.S. Soccer fan. You're watching Match Access on USSoccer.com. I'm Jeff McAdam, joined alongside Taylor Twellman. Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing very well. Doing very well. A guy that you guys know very well if you follow U.S. Soccer. It's been a little while since you've had your first cap, but as you were saying, this was actually the stadium you had your last cap in.
Yeah.
we welcome you in. Talk about these guys who are getting their first cap for the U.S. national team tomorrow. There's 4 guys.
It's always exciting to get your first cap, but there's a little extra when it's a World Cup year. And I don't care what any ex-player or current player tells you, a Gold Cup January camp is one thing, a World Cup January camp is something else, and that's on the back of every player's mind, whether it's your first cap or your 100th cap. It doesn't matter. It's an opportunity to impress Jurgen Klinsmann and his staff, and there's some young kids in this group that if they do get their first cap, they'll remember it forever.
There's a couple guys on the team that will be getting their first cap that people may not be so familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about them? Whether it's DeAndre Yedlin, Harrington. You know the guys. There's 4 guys out there. What should people be looking for when they see them on the field tomorrow?
Well, I think when you talk about players getting their first cap, the 2 that come to mind right off the bat are Luis Gil and DeAndre Yedlin. Those are 2 guys that impressed very well at the Under-20 World Cup in Turkey over the past year, and I think more importantly, they're 2 players with huge upsides. But as Jurgen Klinsmann said to Alexi Lawless and I yesterday, is they're raw. So he has a very good opportunity to develop those 2 guys. And then when you look at the other ones, listen, Michael Harrington, Eric Alexander, these are 2 guys that deserve a call-up. They've put in a lot of hard work with their club teams. They've done well enough in this camp to still be with the group. So it's exciting times for those 4 players.
And talk about the team as a whole. Obviously, there's 18 other guys that are on this field behind us right now. Some guys looking to make that final push toward a World Cup roster. Who are some guys that you really look for to make a big push here, the final 2 games here?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it's interesting. Obviously, fingers crossed for U.S. soccer fans out there that injuries aren't part of that equation, but that's also part of this process, that you have to introduce players into your system if you're Jurgen Klinsmann and his staff. When I look at this, the first sign when the 26 players were named to this January camp there were 7, potentially 9 fullbacks in this lineup, in that roster. And when you look at it, that still tells me, yes, Brad Evans, the Michael Parkers of the world, the DeMarcus Beasleys of the world, that spot is still a concern for Jurgen Klinsmann. Obviously, with the group of death that they're in, Germany, Portugal, Ghana, they need to be good, sound tactically, defensively. So when you look at it, I think that's the key. Is it Brad Evans at right back? Is it Michael Parkers? Is it DeAndre Yedlin for the first time? And then in the midfield, I think Mix Diskerud is one of those players that we've seen come off the bench. U.S. is 12-1-3 when he plays, so obviously he brings a lot of good stuff to that, but I still think he's on the fringe. I don't know if he brings enough to play 90 minutes, and I think tomorrow, if he starts, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for Mix to prove that he deserves to be in that 23-man roster.
We'll have to keep an eye on all those guys. Now, I know
you write them down.
No, I did
a lot of them.
It's like the entire team.
It is.
Yeah. Now, I know it's been a little while. You've been with ESPN for a little bit, but do you miss it? Do you wish you could get back, climb back over these boards and get out there?
No offense, I love talking to you, but I'd rather have my shoes on playing behind. Career ended very young, and I miss it every day. Age 28 for it to be taken from me, but it was a life decision that I needed to make with post-concussion syndrome, and luckily I found something that I enjoy.
Well, we've enjoyed watching you on television. Look forward to catching up with you. And
don't lie, you turn your
you.
remote off every
I did.
time I'm on.
No, man, you're good. We've watched you. I'm sure a lot of U.S. soccer fans have watched you as well. Yeah. You have a good partner over there, too, with Alexi.
Yeah,
but
we're acquaintances. We're not friends.
Oh, okay. Hopefully he didn't hear that. You might be making enemies over there. Well, thanks for joining us, Taylor. I appreciate it.
My man.
And thank you. All right, soccer fans, we'll step aside. We'll let you keep watching the U.S. men's team train behind us here at the StubHub Center. We'll be back shortly to let you know what you can expect in tomorrow's coverage.
2 minutes.
Check one.
About 24 hours away. Oh, we're not actually. All right. We are back out of the field. Training continues. We're about 24 hours away from kickoff here at StubHub Center. The U.S. men's team winding down what should be a pretty exciting preparation for a game in which 22 guys all trying to make a final roster. If you're coming out to tomorrow's game, you probably already have a ticket. If you don't, you're not coming out to tomorrow's game. It's a sellout here at the StubHub Center. Even the grass seats behind me, those are sold out. This place is going to be packed. It's going to be rocking. Everybody excited to see a South Korea, or a Korea Republic team rather, they haven't seen since 2002. If you want to check out the game and you don't have tickets, just log online to ussoccer.com. Our match access will continue then. Coverage starts at about 12:30. Kickoff is at 2, and of course, we'll have a post-game wrap for you as well on ussoccer.com. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening.
Wins his first trophy, claiming the 2013 Gold Cup. United States are through to the World Cup. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?